Good morning. It is Wednesday morning again. So once again, we are reading on the Bible. I know last week and the way I said it, I made it look like Joyce Meyer wrote the Bible. She did not write the Bible. She just wrote little excerpts in the Bible in this one. This is called Battlefield in the Mind Bible. It's an amplified Bible. It's written by God, but Joyce Meyer wrote all the little excerpts in it. So we are in Genesis 39 this week. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an Egyptian officer of Pharaoh, the captain of the royal guard, bought him from the Ishmaelites, who had taken him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he, even though a slave, became a successful and prosperous man. And he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. Now his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord caused all he did, to prosper, succeed in his hand. So Joseph pleased Potiphar and found favor in his sight, and he served him as his personal servant. He made Joseph overseer over his house, and he put all that he owned in Joseph's charge. It happened that from the time that he made Joseph overseer in his house and put him in charge over all that he owned, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house because of Joseph. So the Lord's blessing was on everything that Potiphar owned in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left all that he owned in Joseph's charge. And with Joseph, there he did not need to pay attention to anything except the food he ate. Okay, there's a little excerpt, like I talked about, by Joyce Meyer. PowerPoint, Genesis 39:10. Let's see, 39:10. We didn't get there yet. And so it was that he spoke to Joseph persistently, that she spoke to Joseph persistently day after day, but he did not listen to her plea to lie beside her or be with her. So Genesis 39:10 says that Potiphar's wife pled persistently with Joseph to become physically intimate with her. In order to resist repeatedly, he must have had to prepare himself mentally every day for her advances and to discipline his thoughts ahead of time, to be determined to resist them. If anyone in your life is a consistent bad influence or makes a habit of tempting you to sin, you can do what Joseph must have done. When you know you will be around that person, make up your mind ahead of time that you will stay strong. Now Joseph was a handsome and attractive in form and appearance, Genesis 43:32. Then after a time his master's wife looked to Joseph with desire, and she said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Look, with me in the house, my master does not concern himself with anything. He has put everything that he owns in my charge. He has not greater in this house than I, nor has he kept anything from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do this great evil and sin against God and your husband?" And so it was that she spoke to Joseph persistently day after day, but he did not listen to her plea to lie with her to lie beside her or be with her. Then it happened one day that Joseph went into the house to a- attend to his duties, and none of the men of the household was there in the house. She caught Joseph by his outer robe, saying, "Lie with me." But he left his robe in her hand and ran and got outside the house. When she saw that he had left his robe in his hand and had run outside, she called to the men of her household and said to them, "Look at this, your master has brought a Hebrew into the household to mock and insult us. He came to lie with me, and I screamed. When he heard me screaming, he left his robe with me and ran outside the house." So she left Joseph's outer robe beside her until his master came home. Then he told her husband the same story, saying, "The Hebrew servant whom you brought among us came to me to mock and insult me. Then, as soon as I raised my voice and screamed, he left his robe with me and ran outside the house." And when Joseph's master heard the words of his wife, saying, "This is the way your servant treated me," his anger burned. So Joseph's master took him and put him in the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were confined. So he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and extended loving kindness to him and gave him favor in the sight of the warden. The warden committed to Joseph's care management all the prisoners who were in the prison, so that whatever was done there, he was in charge of it. The warden paid no attention to anything that was in Joseph's care because the Lord was with him. Whatever Joseph did, the Lord made to prosper. Okay. Another excerpt by Joyce Meyer, Keys to a Victorious Life. Actions follow thoughts. The thoughts are, our thoughts are very powerful even when they're based on a lie, as demonstrated by Potiphar's anger and mistreatment of Joseph. See Genesis 39:19. I believe and say, where the mind goes, the man follows. See Proverbs 23:7. If we think of something unjust that someone has done to us over and over, it will be difficult, if not impossible, to treat that person with God's kindness the next time we see them. Our thoughts will become our actions. Therefore, think about forgiving people who hurt you, and you will be able to forgive. Think about being a blessing to others, and you won't end up being selfish. Yes, our thoughts are powerful, and with God's help, we can think on things that will benefit us rather than hurt us. Wow, that's powerful. That's the end of chapter 39. Thank you for following along. I hope you have a blessed week. And if you need prayers or have any questions, I have a link in my articles that I'm putting in off to the left that you can talk to me directly. Thank you and God bless.